Our next movie is sequels we could care less about. And I kind of tossed and turned on that. I almost put G.I. Joe on it. Almost. But I don't like to repeat myself either. So I'm going to save it for another turkey. X-Men Origins Wolverine. Now, of course, here's the thing. If you read my top 10 list, Wolverine doesn't make it on the list. Not quite. But, I mean, let's face it, folks. Why do we need another X-Men movie? Well, because the last one sucked and we want to see it be done properly. But the first three films, and particularly the second film, really established Wolverine's past. There was no reason to go back to his past. We're just treading familiar water at this point. So the movie is not necessarily bad, but it just feels so utterly pointless.
Yeah, that would make sense.
And what's worse about it is since it made money, we're now going to get an X-Men Origins Wolverine 2, and I have no hope for that, and actually what's depressing is that Bryan Singer's finally back on the franchise, and he's making the other Origins movie. Like, we really need to keep going back to this.
They shouldn't have called it Origin. What? That's what, if you want to do it, just make Wolverine. Yeah. Just go big. Here's Wolverine. He's not even in the X-Men are going to stay home. Wolverine's going to go have an adventure. I would be fine with that.
Yeah.
Like, if they just did that?
Yeah, doesn't Wolverine, leave the house all the time anyway?
Does he have his own comic?
Yeah, he leaves all the time, so...
I don't get why they had to go back in time at all.
Yeah, no, it was, pointless, so sequels I could care less about. X-Men Origins, Wolverine, I don't say this very often, but I think the leaked movie a week in advance probably did audiences a favor, even though they did not heed the warning.
Yeah. No, for any sequel I could care less about, I'm going to actually name something I didn't see, which relates to a different category later, but still. Though the sequel, if I could name anything that I just could not even remotely try to care about, it would be the damn Alvin and the Chipmunks 2, the Squeakquel. Why? I mean, the first one, I remember seeing the ad and being like, that's the dumbest looking movie I've ever seen. And then the second one, it was like, they managed to make the dumbest looking movie I've ever seen even stupider in this, insane, bizarro world of, that successful... I can't even fathom why. That one just pissed me off. When you see an ad where it's like, you put the good moments in your ads to make people want to see it. And when it's like, this is just idiotic.
So, let's move on to the next one, and this is called Stupid Kid Stuff. And parents, we're just going to warn you now, if you took your kids to see one of the movies that we list, we're saying you wasted your money and your time, and you should probably do better research. But anyway...
Pretty sure we're going to say the same thing.
No. Oh, maybe. Here's a funny thing. Just because for a while I was having a hard time, because this was actually a better year for kids' films than usual, so this is one of the only times that I was actually going to put Caillou's A Chance to Beat Balls again on it, even though I don't think it's stupid per se. But, looking over my notes, I discovered a little gem that I almost forgot about, and I was glad I had forgotten about it until now. It's Hannah Montana, the movie. Parents...
Oh. I forgot about that existed.
Yeah,
I'm not a teenage girl.
I forgot it existed, and you know why I forgot it existed? I forgot it existed because I like good movies, and I like good music, and I like likable characters, which I said nothing of. And I would tear this stupid little film apart and just enjoy doing it, but I'm going to instead quote one scene. There was a scene in this movie where the town is in fear of the corporation buying out a certain property of land. Now, I'm not sure how important it really is, but that's the storyline. And basically, the big tycoon who wants to buy the place, he says the only way you're gonna get the money to save the town is if the Beatles came back and did a rock concert, and that's not gonna happen. Someone else brings up, hey, my friend Miley knows Hannah Montana, and everyone's like, yeah, Hannah Montana, she could save the town. So is this movie trying to imply that Hannah Montana is bigger, better, or both than the Beatles? Parents, here's some advice from me. Coincidentally, the Beatles remastered box set was released this year. Get it for your kids for their birthday or whatever. Show them what some real music is, and then pick them up a copy of A Hard Day's Night, too, to show them what a real fun movie is.
Yeah, I didn't know they did that.
Yeah.
I would change it. I didn't even see that, but that offends me to my very soul.
It does.
No, I was just gonna. I didn't have stupid kids, but I didn't see that many animated movies, and I enjoyed most of them. The only one I was just gonna throw back on there was the Alvin and the Chipmunks movie. I mean, it hurts. Like
it does.
There was no way, even if you were like, "Oh, I'm the biggest Alvin and Chipmunks fan. Can we review it?" I've been like, "No, no." Or I would have lied and said I went and been like, "Oh, it was awful."
You can probably fake your way through seeing it. I mean, it's the same stupid thing
no,
as all the
it.
other.
It was like, "Oh, there were girl chipmunks or boy chipmunks. There were fucking chipmunks everywhere." Oh, it's stupid.
Yeah. Yes, and by the way, I want to add that Alvin and the Chipmunks, for all the hate we give it, they can sing better than Hannah Montana.
Ouch.
Yeah, it's true, folks. Sorry. Now we're going to get to a category, and this is where I'm going to bring up the Chipmunks. This thing is called Films We Hate on Principle. Now, we didn't see these movies, but we just hate them on the principle alone. My choice, Alvin and the Chipmunks, A Squeakquel. And what's really offensive, parents, you have Where the Wild Things Are, A Christmas Carol, Even Clyde Was a Chance of Meatballs, especially Princess and the Frog, and this is the movie you decided to make a hit. Shame on you. That's all I can say, really.
Well,
I mean,
that's good because we're getting low on battery. So. I was going to say the same thing, because I already listed it twice. That's just too repetitive. The movie that I avoided, even though we went and saw Surrogates, we saw other movies that we were vaguely, not even remotely interested in, was the one that I was specific to avoid, was Roland Emmerich's 2012.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I like Independence Day for all its like batshit stupidity. It's still fun, but The Day After Tomorrow, 10,000 BC, I don't like Stargate. I mean, I don't every other film that man made. All of his films are idiotic beyond belief.
The only halfway decent film this guy made was The Patriot, and that's kind of sad when that's the best film you've made.
I hate that movie. I mean, that was the easy one. That's the other thing. You don't have to come up with sci-fi bullshit for that. You just have to make Braveheart in America. And he made it into a Mel Gibson action flick. It was like, come on, dude, how can you screw everything up? Except the weird alien movie where shit blows up. That's the only one I like, is freaking Independence Day. And it's still an abominably stupid film. It's just fun.
It is. Yeah, it's fun for some reason.
Yeah.
So,
that's pretty much it, I guess.